Hi, I'm Lam. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel, Keeping Up with the Queen. Today, we are talking about a brand new, stunning, luxurious palette, the Patrick Ta's new Major Dimension Eyeshadow Palette. It is one of Patrick Ta's signature techniques for creating his naturally contoured glowing looks, a versatile eyeshadow palette that contains two luminous cream bases, velvety matte and iridescent metallic eyeshadows, and glistening pearl toppers. The beautifully blendable shadows and creams in this collection allow you to create the most striking multi-dimensional looks with just one palette. Question of the day. Have you ever tried Patrick Ta's beauty line, and which is your favorite product? Let me know and then I will spill the tea on mine. Before we begin this first impression slash review slash swatches comparison video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification button. Are you ready to dive in? I am. Looking at this palette, I am immediately drawn into these delicious chocolatey colors on this quad right here, and of course I am excited to use this transition shade. It's stunning. We are going to do a little bit of a more sultry look and of course glowy. I will try my best to keep it within Patrick Ta's aesthetic, okay? I did not prime my eyelid with eyeshadow primer on purpose because there are two stunning cream bases here. Let's start with the lighter shade, which is called Abundance. Immediately it is beautiful and it is definitely different from, let's say, Natasha Denona cream to powder formula. It's a lot softer, not as pigmented right away. Wow, that just blended beautifully without any brush, just one finger. Now I'm going to grab this transition shade called Mother, and we're going to apply it on top of that cream shadow to set it and to intensify it at the same time. So yesterday I did use just the Mother shade because I was going to work. I was just using it on its own as like a one and done kind of an eyeshadow look, and it was beautiful. But on top of this cream base, I can tell it's really shine. The cream base definitely works like an eyeshadow primer, where it's like help with smoothing everything out and make the powder shadow blend easier on top of it, and definitely the color is a lot more clear and intense. Now I'm going to grab a smaller blending brush. This is from the Anastasia eyeshadow palette, and I will grab the shade Transition, which is this shade right here, and put it on the outer corner of my upper lash line just a little bit to create that beautiful chocolatey intense look. First of all, I like how neutral it is. Let's do it all over the lid, but keep it closer to my lash line. Definitely buildable and not too crazy intense from the beginning, which is a great news. It looks like a traditional shimmer kind of a formula, not like a glittery topper, and I'm gonna use my finger with it. Medium deep bronze shimmery shade, very creamy to the touch, and let's put that all over the upper lid. Oh my gosh. And I really want to try the shade next to it called Lavish. It looks like a glitter topper, a little bit drier to the touch. Yeah, this is definitely a glitter topper. I'm gonna top that off. Yeah, definitely it's way more glittery now. My camera decided to die, so I finished this whole look, but let me explain what I did. On the lower lash line, I used the combination of Exquisite, Lady, and Woman. Basically, these three shades to create the beautiful highlight in the middle. This is the final look. I hope you like it. Now I am dying to swatch this whole palette, so let's get right into it. First two shades are the Cream shades, the cream bases, the lighter one and the deeper one. I love these two shades because they are so easy to blend out, as you can see from the demo, and they are intense. They are not like just a beige kind of a shade. They have depth and they will help the other colors to stand out more and to build up easily. The next shade is this one right here. I have no idea how the naming goes anymore, so I'm not gonna say names. A traditional shimmer shade. It has bronzy chocolatey undertone to it, and it's just so creamy and super easy to work with. This is one of the formulas that I'm most comfortable with in this palette. Beside this cream base, you can see I was able to blend it out with my fingers alone. I forgot to say, this cream base right here, the deeper one, I was trying to use a pointy brush and use it as an eyeliner, and I think it worked out really nicely. If I don't have such an intense look on, like if that's all I'm gonna do as a cream liner and blend it out almost to nothing, that will be a perfect look. I want to talk about is this shade right here on the top row. It is this shade, transition shade, but it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's not like big particles of glitter though, so there's a little bit fallout, but it's not creating a mess like, for example, the glitter infused matte in ColourPop eyeshadow palettes. This is not behaving like that. Because the particles of the glitter are smaller, they're able to cling on to my skin better. The rest of the three shades on the top row, this one right here, which is a peachy, pinky, bronzy shade, it has a beautiful flip. This one right here, which is a lighter peach, almost like a champagne, like this one, but this is the icy champagne. In the pan, you will be able to see the differences more clearly. They're glitter toppers, but they're not the same formula as like the glitter toppers in a Pat McGrath palette, where it's like dry and it's like intense glittery. It's easier to have fallout. These three are in between a traditional shimmer where it's like creamy, buttery, and that Pat McGrath dry glitter topper. This is in between. It's not as glittery as a Pat McGrath, but it has a lot of glitter. You can definitely see the shine. I was afraid they're gonna create hard pan because they're so dry to the touch and they seem to be pressed pretty hard to the pan. Remind me a little bit of the Huda Beauty Chocolate Obsession palette. I have a review of those glitter toppers. Immediately form hard pan after my swatching and first use. These two still seem to have uh, some pigment coming off like this. I will report back to you as I use it more if they develop worse of a hard pan. They're kind of right now, but still usable and still beautiful. The next four are the matte formula on the second row, and these are nothing much. They're nothing much to talk about. They're very creamy. They're easy to blend. This shade right here, the deepest shade in the palette, it's actually not as intense, so that it was easy to build up. The rest of the three are standard transition shades, and I like that they're kind of different. And then the last shade here is also a shimmer shade, a shimmer champagne, and it's super brightening and perfect for an inner corner highlight like what I did today. So overall, all the formulas are really nice. I like it. Beside a little bit of a questionable glitter toppers and the glitter infused matte. I want to quickly compare this new Major Dimension palette to some of my other palettes just to see how it compares practicality wise, and then we will have the conclusion and end this video, I promise. First of all, Soft Glam. Okay, Soft Glam is a classic. Every family has one, and it is beautiful. Okay, the problem I have with Soft Glam is that a lot of the shades are too intense for me. Like, this is so intense for me for everyday use. This black is too intense. These two browns are nice for an eyeliner kind of a moment, but they are not really easy to use as like transition shade because they're so intense, at least for my medium skin tone. Gold right here, I rarely use it because it's so yellow, so crazy bronzy gold. Major Dimension palette, however, it looks a little similar to Soft Glam, but it's in a lot of ways it's a more easy to use, more user-friendly palette because it has more different formulas. It has, like, for example, this deep shade is a lot softer and a lot more buildable than the deeper shades in the Soft Glam palette. So I just feel like it's a little bit more easy to use, and the pigmentation is not super intense immediately. A fellow makeup artist palette, and this palette was coming out as like a neutral palette also, and this is the Master Matte palette from Makeup by Mario. And this palette is great. It's buildable. It has so many undertones and so much to choose from, and it ranges from light to deep. But the problem I have with this palette is that it's only matte. And that's why the Major Dimension from Patrick Ta, in my opinion, is a little bit better than the Makeup by Mario one because it has more formula to choose from. The last one I want to talk about is the bronze palette from Natasha Denona. Now this one is probably the most comparable to the Major Dimension palette because they both have a ton of formula. They both have a lot of options to choose from, a lot of dimension, a lot of direction you can go, from softer look to intense glam, from like a red to like a pink and purple. They are really comparable, and also price wise they're pretty comparable. So with these two, actually I think the bronze palette is a better palette to go with just because you have more options, you have more shade. Quality is a little bit more consistent throughout the palette. This one, for now, the Major Dimension from Patrick Ta is a hit in my book. If these three top glittery shades form hard pan in the next month, then it would be clearly not as good as the bronze palette. For now, they're a tie in my book because they're both really beautiful and versatile and easy to use. So yeah, that's it, the comparison part. And my final thoughts of this palette is that so far so good. I really enjoy it. I don't have any problem with this look. I really like the fact that I have something new to play with, like these two cream base here, and the glitter toppers are kind of interesting to try out for the first time. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve with this palette for the newer formula if you haven't tried them yet like me, but they're pretty soft colors. They're mostly buildable and blendable, so you won't have a difficult time learning and playing with this palette. And of course, as I said, I will update you as time goes on if I like it or not. Yeah, that's it for this first impression video. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are of this palette so far and of my look today. And also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my future uploads, and have a great one. I will see you in my next video. Until next time, please don't flop.